When my children were growing up in Caracas, Venezuela several years ago, they spoke Spanish language fluently. And that was the story with every single child born to Nigerian parents who lived in that nation. They all spoke Spanish language well. They ate burritos, empanadas, arepas, and all the delicacies of the people of the land where we were. And they danced their music, they love salsa, they love their dressing, everything. Why? Because children absorb the culture of the people where they are born, and culture is a way of life of a people. I'll get back to you. Hi, I'm Gozie Okuri. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this channel, we discuss books and how to leverage your reading for success in life. If today is your first time here, please, you're welcome. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you give me a thumbs up, that would be amazing. In today's video, we'll be discussing how to replace the hookup culture with a reading culture. Now, as I said in the beginning, culture is the way of life of a people. Now, children do not struggle to pick up the culture of the people around them. When a child is born in an average Igbo community, that child grows up speaking Igbo language. He eats the food of the people. He loves their music. He does everything they do because children absorb, everything that the primary caregivers or their parents do. Now, that applies to every nation of the world. Wherever a child is raised up, that child absorbs the culture in the land where he's raised up, right? Now, today we want to look at how we can replace the hookup culture. Now, having said that culture is the way of life of a people, the hookup culture simply means a culture that is marked with casual sexual relationship, okay? Sexual relationship with no strings attached. And we really need to replace this culture because of the following reasons. Number one, this hookup culture usually leads to the objectification and exploitation of the young people involved in it, okay? When we talk about objectification, we are talking about the person is treated as an object. He is merely an object for the fulfillment of carnal desires, okay? God didn't create us to be objects, right? He didn't create us to be toys in the hands of people. And exploitation also, a lot of the people who are involved in this get exploited, and because of this, we really need to replace this culture. Another reason why we need to replace this culture is because it leads to negative mental health. It affects the mental health of the people who are involved in it. Because of all the different things they experience in the hands of the people, it affects their mental health as well as their self-esteem. Yes, the next reason is that it exposes the young people who are involved in it to all manner of sexually transmitted diseases, and also it leads to unplanned or unwanted pregnancies. Okay, so there are so many negative implications of the hookup culture, and that's why we need to replace it with a better culture. Now, somebody might want to ask me, what is a reading culture? A reading culture is a culture. Remember once again that I said that culture is a way of life of a people. So a reading culture is a culture where books are celebrated. Reading becomes the habit of the people. The people involved celebrate books. Books are prioritized and books are celebrated. Okay, so that's a reading culture. So how do we get children to imbibe the reading culture? Now, you see, the way it is in different cultures of the world, in every home there are cultures in homes. There are homes where books are celebrated, the reading culture home. There are homes where martial arts is celebrated. There are homes where movies, series, and all manner of videos are celebrated. So you have homes where home videos are celebrated. In fact, you have homes, the pop culture and the media have an upper hand. So there are different cultures in different homes, and whatever culture that is prevalent in any home determines the outcome of the children that are raised up in that home. So when we talk about the reading culture, a home where reading is celebrated is a home where from the time the child is in the cradle, the child begins to see people reading books. The child is exposed to board books, is exposed to storybooks, is exposed to bedtime stories. That child grows up thinking that this is what happens in the world, because you see, that child is coming from the womb, and the womb where the child is coming from, there are no home videos there, there are no video games there, there are no football fields there. The child comes into the home, so everything that that child sees in the home, he thinks that is what the world is all about. The child doesn't even know that you have neighbors. He doesn't know there is America or US. Everything that happens in your home represents the world to that child. So if you are the reading type, your home is filled with books. You have gone out and bought the beautiful books for your children, Aesop stories, illustrated Bible stories, board books, and all those beautiful books that children should be introduced and exposed to. That child will pick that culture. You see, when children are young, they have one thing in common with the chameleons. The chameleon picks up the pigmentation and the color of his surroundings, okay? That's exactly how it is when children are between the ages of 1 and 7. They pick up everything happening around them. So if in your home it is books that he sees, he grows up with a reading culture. He grows up loving books. He grows up celebrating books. He thinks that's what life is all about. With this understanding in mind, when my children were growing up, I made sure that the pop culture, the media, and their films never had an upper hand in my home. I did not allow anyone to watch home videos around my children, because I understand what I'm explaining to you now, that children absorb whatever is exposed to them. Because as young children, their subconscious minds are open and they are absorbing everything happening around them and storing them in their mental blueprint. And it is the things that they have stored in their mental blueprint that will go out and act. They will go out and begin to do those things later in life, just like the architect that will draw a blueprint and now take that blueprint out to go and develop it. So when your child is young, everything that he's picking up around his environment, he's storing it in his mental blueprint, and it is those things that are stored in his filing cabinet, those things that are stored in his subconscious mind, that he will go out doing later in life, okay? So if we want to replace the hookup culture with the reading culture, what it means is that when your children are young, when the children are born, do not allow the pop culture to have an upper hand. Do not allow just any type of home videos around those children. Let me tell you something. You know that in the world, it's negative news that sells, right? It's negative news that sells. So the people who are into film making, these ones who are doing the videos, they want to do them and get profit. So they won't come there and begin to tell you the positive. So they will begin to mirror the ills, the negative things happening in the society. So if you have a child and you allow your child, every now and then that child is watching home videos and the film producers are bombarding his mind with negativities, bombarding them with adult content, okay? The child is watching, is seeing one uncle and one auntie doing some things, right? He's absorbing it and storing it in his mental blueprint. Now he sees somebody going to consult the mediums. He's absorbing it, storing it, right? You see this one, okay, they have to settle score, come put poison in his food, do this and that, all those things. The young child is watching them. You, the adult who is watching these things, you know their actings, you know their drama. The young child who is watching does not know all these things, so he's storing them in their mental blueprint. So when he goes out, what happens? He will begin to do life with those things he has stored in his mind. That is why so many wealthy people can't understand why their daughters who are well provided for, or their wives who are well provided for, end up doing hookup. They don't understand that it is programming, okay? When you're watching some of these things in your home, you call them modernization, you call them socialization, but in actual fact, what they are programming, okay? So if we want to attack the hookup culture and replace it with the reading culture, what it means is that when our children are young, when we have our babies, we should shut off all manner of media and pop culture that is not what you want. That's not what you want for your children. If you want to raise a child who is an intellectual giant, then provide that child with things that will make him an intellectual giant. Attacking the hookup culture or replacing it basically means to replace the culture, the pop culture, the media culture, the videos, the films, and all those things that we set before the eyes of our children. The reason why a lot of parents allow their children to watch these things, they will think that, okay, if I don't allow them to watch this and that, they will be bored. Let me tell you something. Boredom is good for your children. Boredom is good. Boredom has a way of activating creativity. When a child is bored, he will begin to look for things to do. And in trying this and that, they will usually discover what they are good at. Do you understand? So all you need to do when you're raising your children, provide them with the natural materials, provide them with the resources that they can explore and use to discover themselves. Okay, that's the way to effectively fight the hookup culture. Now, if every single parent listening to me today will begin to implement this, begin to shut out all the cultures that you don't want, shut out the pop culture with all their music videos that are so terrible, and then shut out their videos with all the content that are so negative, and put good things before the eyes of your children, you will see that with time we will begin to replace the hookup culture with the reading culture. Thank you so much for being a part of this beautiful video. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And until I come your way next time, remain richly blessed.